This morning when I got up, I already had been thinking about making these cookies. It's Harold's absolute favorite cookie. And it's probably my favorite also. But after we did our Bible study and Harold was about to go do some work, he said, I don't usually ask you to make anything, but he said, I'd love for you to make those. And I said, Laura Bush Cowboy Cookies. And he said, yeah. I said, you're not going to believe it, but I was already thinking about it. I guess when you live with somebody a long time, you think alike. But this recipe is in my Volume 1 cookbook. And it is our favorite cookie recipe. Is it the easiest? No. It's not hard, but it has a lot of different ingredients, but nothing that you probably wouldn't already have or easy to get to. But I'm going to take you along with me. If you have Volume 1, it is on page 53. And it says that you're going to mix flour, baking powder, soda, cinnamon, and salt in a bowl. So we're going to do that. I'm going to get my all-purpose flour. And it calls for 3 cups. Set that right there. I'm going to get this measuring cup out. 3 cups, that's 1, 2, 3. 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I'll set this out of the way. And we're gonna put a tablespoon of baking powder. This is a new one, so I'm going to have to open it. Tablespoon of baking powder. A tablespoon of baking soda. A tablespoon of cinnamon. Gotta refill my cinnamon. And a teaspoon of salt. I put a little less than a teaspoon because my butter is salty. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside. And I've got my big mixer out for this because it's a lot of batter. You start off with 3 sticks of butter. And like I said, I have to salt it. It wouldn't matter. And you want it softened. I've let it sit out. Let me get me a spoon. Okay. You know, I set this on the top of my stove and I had my oven on and it got soft really quick. This recipe makes a lot of cookies. And the good thing about it is you can add or leave out several of the ingredients. Like if Harold wanted cranberries in ours, and my recipe in here doesn't call for cranberries, it calls for coconut. I would have put the coconut in also, but I don't have any. So, all right, now what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to mix that butter together. It's smooth and creamy. Now I'm going to add the sugars, and we're going to add 1.5 cups of granulated white sugar. There's 1.5. Okay. And I'm going to add 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Okay. And we're going to combine that. Let me scrape this off of my, okay, make sure the bottom of it, and it looks good, okay. And I'm going to turn the mixer back on, and I'm going to add 3 eggs, one at a time. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Now this flour mixture, we're going to add it a little at a time. The recipe says this will become very thick. Now, I'm going to add 3 cups of oatmeal. Okay. Now, at some point, I will add the rest with a spoon and stir it in, but right now my mixer's doing fine. I am now going to add 3 cups of chocolate chips. I may not add quite 3 cups. I think I may just add 2 cups. I'm not sure. Okay, that's 2 cups. I may come back and add some more. Okay. We're going to add some pecans. I'm going to add 2 cups of pecans, and I use the Whaleys, and I'm going to add the pecan pieces. If you keep these in your freezer, please do a little bit more than 2 cups. Okay. All right. I think it's getting pretty thick right now. Let me push it down. And the last thing that I am going to add are the cranberries that Harold wants. So I'm going to add 2 cups of cranberries. These are Craisins dried cranberries. The recipe calls for coconut, and I'm not going to add that. If I did, I would have added less pecans and less craisins. Okay, I don't want to mess my mixer up, and I'll just finish stirring it in with a spoon. Let me turn this around. This is not difficult to make, and if you don't have a heavy duty mixer, when you start adding all of these other ingredients, you would just, what you would do is just stir it in, okay? Get these out of my way. If you try these, you're going to say it's worth the extra time that it takes to mix this together. And it makes a lot. I mean, an awful lot. See, this is mixed already. And what I'm going to do, you can see, That mixer got it. I have already put parchment paper on my cookie sheet. And I'm going to put these far enough apart. Get my scoop. I'm going to put them far enough apart that they're not going to, when they spread out, touch each other. But y'all, these are so good. Harold came in a while ago, and I had my ingredients out. And he said, "Sue, I don't want you to make those cookies today." And I said, "Why not?" And he said, "Well, we've got Mason, and, you know, you've been busy." And I said, "I've already planned to make them." And he said, "Well, I think it'll be too much." And I said, "Well, I'm going to make them today. If you don't want to eat them until tomorrow, that's okay." Well, he laughed. He takes care of me, that's for sure. We were talking, I guess it was yesterday, Saturday maybe. And I said, "Harold, you really did more for me when I was sick than I would have ever dreamed that you would have to do." And he said, "You would have done the same for me," and I would have. Okay. The recipe says put them in your oven 8 to 10 minutes, only until the edges are beginning to turn. You want them to look a little soft in the middle, because as they cool, they'll be just perfect. But I'll be back to show you, and I'll tell you exactly how long I left them. I have made over 135 cookies. These are so good. The reason I said over 135, I just counted these. And I know I had 3, and I think Harold had 4. But y'all, they're so, so good. I don't think I need another one right now. But y'all, they're so, so good. I'll just take a little bite. I'm going to put them in a jar. I have my cookie jar right here. These have all cooled. And I just keep them in here. Now I'm going to give Amy and Sean and the guys some of these, because there's too many for us. But y'all, this is perfect to make if you want to give some little gifts. But I wanted to make these because Harold likes them so much, and so do I. But see, this filled up this jar. And did you know, you probably already know this, but I'm going to tell you. If they start where they're getting a little hard, put just a piece of loaf bread in there. And the bread will get hard and your cookies will stay soft. So, remember, it's in volume 1 on page 53, Laura Bush's Cowboy Cookies. Thank you for joining me today, and remember to be salt and light, and I'll be back soon.